Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Under the Hood, Driven by Detail. This is the second part where we are delighted to be joined by our very special guest, Gilbert Groot, founder and CEO of JLM Lubricants, also joined by Larr Poole from HB Dennis, Airside and Swords, and Keith Lenihan from Keith Lenihan Motors. It's going to start off this episode with Gilbert. Firstly, thanks for hanging around long enough to we can get a second episode into this. Probably want to talk about some of the products now and the workings of them, because we spoke last night about DPF regenerations and things like that, and a lot of people driving diesel cars, they're still buying diesel cars. A lot of people are still unaware of the message out there that you shouldn't be buying diesel unless you're doing long drives all the time, not some of the time. You told me last night that some of the products you have, you just add it to the fuel, and that helps the DPF regenerate at a much lower temperature, which helps for people that are doing short runs.
Yeah.
How does that work?
I could spend a couple of days explaining, but I'll try and cut it short.
Short versions.
It's just a short version. No, happy to do that. It's important to understand a couple of things. And first and foremost, and I've seen your podcast on DPF, the previous one, and that was really, really good and very, very informative. The DPF is a filter. That was the message last week as well. Let's not make it more complicated than it already is. DPF is a filter, and it catches soot, and the soot catched should be burnt off by the DPF. And if there's too much soot in the DPF, it can't regenerate to burn off the excessive soot. And I always explain it how I understand it, because I'm not a technician. I understand some technology, but I'm not a technician. I'm not. I have to disappoint you. I'm not a chemist either. So I'll try and explain how I understand it.
Yeah.
In order to burn off excessive soot, there's probably 3 or 4 different options to do that. You can add a catalyst to the fuel, and the catalyst will attach itself to the soot particle, and the catalyst will
ignite quicker, maybe.
Will help the ignition process, because what you want to do is you want to burn off the excessive soot. And so if you add a catalyst, it burns off easier. Thank you for that, Keith. And there's different catalysts in chemical world. There is ferrocene, or better word, iron. There is cerium, and there is platinum. You can use also a combination of cerium and platinum. But these are pretty much the three catalysts that you can use to burn off excessive soot. Now, if we start at the bottom, let's say, it's the iron or the ferrocene. The one great feature of using iron is that it burns very easily, and it spikes the temperature right up. And basically, that's what you want. You want to help the DPF to regenerate, to rise the temperature, so it enables itself to burn off the excessive soot. However, the downside of spiking up the temperature really high is that it can be out of control, and then it could create, and Ford calls it, a thermal event, which means as much as you just burn off the DPF. So that's something clearly you don't want. So what you do is you, to ensure, to prevent the thermal event, killing the DPF, is you just simply lower the percentage of or the volume of iron in the additive.
So you just wanted to introduce at this point is what you were telling me last night is that these 3 items that you speak of,
the
iron, the platinum, the cerium, they survive the combustion.
Yes.
They don't activate until they come out to the exhaust.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. I mean,
yeah.
And because a lot of questions are, when you turn around, you hand people this bottle, this additive, right, that just goes in your fuel tank, and they're looking at you. If they know anything about cars, they're looking at you funny. But my problems with my exhaust. Do you know?
Yeah.
And so this is where I was, even myself, to right, how does this work? And you're explaining to me, even though it goes into the fuel, it goes into the combustion mixture, but these molecules actually survive the combustion, the explosion, the power stroke, until they get into the exhaust.
How is that, lad? So I have to just ask, how do they survive that?
That's what was getting me, the hill.
I can't tell you.
Okay.
That's beyond my knowledge, Keith.
Okay, no, he's honest.
At
No,
molecule level,
It's-
the temperature inside the cylinder may not be to the same temperature or the flash point, really the flash point
Yeah, it is.
of what is on the DPF. So then when they do react, and as Gilbert said, they're catalysts. So when it comes to a molecule level, a molecular level, it's how molecules react, or like we talk about in electronics, how atoms are attracted to one thing but repel others, and molecules are the same. How they're attracted to certain, as Gilbert said, their suit, and how they're not. So in the combustion chamber, they might not be attracted to the actual the burn process of the diesel, but when they hit into the exhaust and they come to a thing called soot, they're attracted to that. Then when they blend the temperature, then obviously they have a chemical reaction with the soot, driving the temperature up.
Yeah, that's why they call it fuel-borne catalyst.
And anyone that's watching this, anyone wants to know why Larr Poole's on the podcast, that's why.
I could not have said it any better. So
He's really trying for this job hard, isn't it?
But we've already signed contracts, Sean. It's done.
yeah, we did the job interview in the previous one. No, but no, a very valid question and a very valid point is you enter it in the fuel and it goes through the wet part.
It escapes the combustion process, I want to be better, and then
It's not going to get killed because it's there's the ignition in the combustion chamber. So getting back to the iron, use of iron or ferrocene is so the downside, the good side and the downside is that it spikes the temperature really, really high, and in the basis that's what you're after. But if it's too high, you might break the DPF, the substrate. The other downside of using ferrocene is that the byproduct, let's say, of burning iron is that is ash production. Now, ash is a solid material which remains in the DPF. And we all know on one side there's soot particles in the DPF. This we can burn off, but the ash simply sits in the DPF until it's fully loaded with ash, and then you get the check engine light, an OBD warning saying it's full of ash. You need to take it out. Take it out to get the ash out of the DPF. So what you do is you only add just enough iron in the additive to prevent a too high temperature and also to limit the byproduct ash. So what you do really is, yes, you clean the DPF with adding a ferrocene-based product, but you're limited to a certain extent. So what you see, but this is a commonly used product in the market. I would say I have no proof to state this, but I reckon the majority of the market, all DPF cleaners are ferrocene based. Maybe, I don't know, 70, 80%, something like that. In my world, we look at it differently, where we say, okay, ferrocene, great product, work with it. Ferrocene helps condition the DPF. So ferrocene, if the car doesn't have a block DPF, but it has some troubles regenerating, you add the ferrocene-based additive, so you help the car completing a full regeneration, and then all the soot is out. Now, the next level up from chemicals is cerium. Now, cerium is a much better, but also more expensive. Surprise, surprise. Is a much better chemical because there is less side effect, as in ash buildup. Cerium burns, allows the soot to burn at a slightly lower temperature rather than spiking on ferrocene. So it's a much better product. So the burn is more efficient. You burn off more soot on a slightly lower temperature.
And you produce less ash.
Exactly.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So that's the preferred chemical, if you like. Also, you mentioned regulation. Ferrocene is now recently has been classed differently, and that's only a regulation thing. It has nothing to do with the working because it hasn't changed. But now it's been classed that it might be dangerous for the unborn child. So so it has an additional warning on the product label, and that's a bit of a marketing thing, because the warning itself, danger to the unborn child, is can be quite intimidating, which it is, I suppose. So from a product marketing perspective, you really don't want to put products on the market.
You don't want to be associated with it, of course.
No, stay away from it.
Absolutely.
And so just on that, and the dangerous unborn child, is that I know a lot of the products that we would get from anything that's anything to do, I believe, is it California, they label them for saying, oh, this product may cause cancer. Like even plastic products, some of the tools we get come with stickers on them saying this product may cause cancer.
Yeah.
And even if you touch it, it's a label they must put on it in America. That harmful to the unborn child. Are they speaking about actually getting it on your hands is harmful, or is it what they're born of?
No, it's working with the product itself.
Right, so it's working. So it's not so working with the product yourself is harmful. If it gets into you, it can harm you. But the actual results of that, no, I'd say I was just wondering if it's talking about the emissions or the actual.
Yeah, no. It's the product itself. Yeah,
right.
The liquid which is in the bottle. Yeah,
That's how.
Yeah. So from a marketing perspective, you don't want to put these type of products on the market anymore. So we switched. We took out all ferrocene products a couple of years ago already, and switched them to cerium, which effectively meant that all our products we've upgraded right away.
Yeah.
With using cerium instead of iron, and from a commercial perspective, we were very happy to keep the cap on the price. So that was really really good. But there's also a third chemical, which is platinum, and we work with a combination of cerium and platinum in our what we call our cleaner, yeah, I told you the history. I stumbled upon this product when it was with the trucks.
Yeah.
And it was originally an additive for trucks, designed for the London low emission zone back, we're getting old, years ago. And I looked at a brochure, I believe it was from Audi. It was a formal Audi brochure. This is 15 years ago. And it said, if you, and the light was on the dashboard, DPF light was on the dashboard, take your car, thrash, well, they didn't use the word thrash, but thrash it on the motorway, give it a good long drive, so you rise the temperature in the exhaust or in the DPF, and you hopefully burn off the excessive soot. Now, I found that very awkward that Audi, it was an official brochure from Audi, that Audi would actually say that as a car manufacturer. And at the same time, I was seeing a chemical engineer, and he was proudly talking about the platinum cerium product they were using for retrofitted trucks on the London low emission zone. So I was looking at this, and I said, maybe I'm just being very simple here, but can I ask, the product that you use for your heavy duty trucks, would it work on a passenger car as well? And he said, sure, why not? It's diesel engine, same working principle. There's really no difference. The only thing is the treat rate that we should adjust to the passenger car. And so we did. And the funny thing is, we and it's such a good blend, platinum and cerium. We only had to use, I think it was like 50 milliliters of the working ingredient.
Okay.
So we diluted it a little bit to 100 milliliter, and we put it in a 150 milliliter can. So it's such a small can. And it was one of our hero products. It still is today. We were one of the very first on the market to offer a fuel additive to fix DPF blockages, and we were selling very well and with excellent results. And I'll get back to the chemical composition, but I like this bit. And then later on, the market started picking up on DPF blockages. So then other companies obviously also introduced DPF cleaners. These were all using the iron ferrocene base back then. So we were saying, okay, we have a ferrocene base. We use this as a support cleaner, a help burn off soot product. But our cleaner is a true cleaner, which is the platinum cerium. But then, of course, the platinum cerium, as you could appreciate, is expensive. And so we were much more expensive compared to the new products entering the market based on ferrocene. And so I think, okay, how can we continue selling our products? So what we did is, in order to create a difference for our customers, we couldn't change the composition, the platinum cerium, because that was already chemically top of the bill. So we had to show we are different and we are better. So the only thing we could think of, and this is all about perception, is just dilute it a little bit more. So we put it, instead of a very small bottle,
300 ml.
we made it into 375 ml in a 500 milliliter bottle. And then we were back on properly selling it again. So
it's amazing that, and I see it in different products. And some people will turn around and they'd say they've this perception that the product just because the can's larger, that it's a better product. And they turn around and say, "Oh, I don't want that one. That's too small."
Yeah,
and I see that in lots of different products.
Yeah, and it's customer behavior, if you like, and same. And we're going a little bit off topic maybe. The same goes for fuel injection cleaner. When we started in 2010, we had a fuel injection cleaner, and with JLM we tried to offer good quality products, premium, not the best, but not medium or lower. We always like to be in the upper part, and we had a really good fuel system cleaner, which cleans everything from the fuel tank until the combustion chamber. We were selling some, but really not a whole lot. So then we learned, looking at others as well, because you're never the first. People think if it's a fuel system cleaner, it cleans a bit of everything, and you probably compromise on everything as well. So we kept the same blend. We changed the name into injector cleaner. And so the blend didn't change, the price didn't play, nothing, just the name, and of course the illustration on the product label, we show an injector. As soon as we switched the name from fuel system cleaner to injector cleaner, people were thinking, that's the product I need. And the sales is starting through the roof.
It really comes back to lack of education, lack of understanding, and a lack of, as we said earlier, managing customer expectations. It all compounds into that bowl.
Yeah, and I've seen it with these examples. I've seen it firsthand. I mean, you hear about it and you talk about it and you see about it, and this was really firsthand. And we were thinking, wow, this is a funny game, and the customer is a funny breed, if you like.
It's a crazy one that the small soils didn't sell as well as the big soils.
Yeah. Well, and the smaller was as good, probably a little bit cheaper, because we had to dilute, we had to put in more carrier fluid.
Carrier fluid, transport fluid.
Carrier fluid doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's just.
So Keith, that does answer your question that you've always asked me. Does size matter? And we're answered it there. Size does matter, Keith.
That's another subject for another podcast.
But no, coming back to what you were saying, I think it's not just cars. I don't even know if I don't even think lack of education is probably the right way of putting it, Sean. But I think marketing, that's just marketing, really, is all that is, isn't it? Like there's certain things like cameras, for instance. I know nothing about cameras, and there's you'll read, or you would either buy the dearest one, or there'll be something that'll catch your eye. And I suppose
I was just chatting to John here, and but just before we started recording the first podcast, and we were just chatting away, and we about cameras and whatnot, and I quickly learned that the most expensive camera and all the accessories is not necessarily the best one. What's standard education?
But motor trade, we'd know fuel system cleaner, injector things. That's all we do. Or if you're buying any tools around, we understand them, we know them. But I don't understand cameras and I don't know cameras. And it could be the same perception as a customer coming in about the car. Your man might be great with cameras, but he just doesn't know cars. And just getting that point across. We're marketing.
One of the unique things about your products, Gilbert, is that the customer is the mechanic, but the end user is the car owner.
Yeah.
So usually the customer and the end user is the same person. Whereas in your case, you're split across two people. So it requires education and marketing. It's not just as simple as
nail on the head. I've been trying to stay away from it for years, and my previous marketeer knows that very well, because I was always disagreeing with everything he said when it comes to splitting consumer and trade.
Do those brands, I know certain brands that have a consumer level additive and a professional level additive. Are they the same, or are they really different?
I think both can be true. Generally, products for the trade, there's a little bit more in it, so the price is also a little bit higher.
Exponentially,
No, it's not crazy. But if let's say if I were to start from scratch, from zero, nothing here, and the consumer would be my intended customer, we'd probably go for a little bit lighter on chemicals, a little bit cheaper, and that would probably make it more suitable as a consumer brand.
for regular use.
Yeah.
I get you. Whereas the trade generally want it when there's a problem.
Yes, and there's certain products we carry that can only be used by the trade due to regulations, and you must have a machine or air pressure, or so there's typical products that are for professionals and can't go to if you have the clean and flush system, for example. If the additives don't work anymore, then there is the clean and flush. That's not a same. That's for professionals. And but even so, with the clean and flush, with the DPF problems, the challenge is not so much cleaning the DPF. So we can do that. We can clean the DPF. Really, that's not an issue. It's a matter of deciding which product I should use at which level of contamination. We'll always clean, but the problem is to understand why the DPF has blocked.
Sorry. Can I just ask on the DPF cleaning? You're saying that's not a problem. So is that from a point of view of ash or soot?
Good point. Ash you cannot chemically clean from a DPF. Just period.
Yeah, I don't. I'd be of the opinion that once there's too much ash, it's a direct replacement. It's I've yet to see.
Or you can clean it. You can clean the ash out, but it has to be off the car.
Yeah, you have to take the
can't clean
DPF
that.
off,
Physically take it off and
cut
put
it
it onto the
open,
machine.
or flush it out, or I'm not sure how to do it.
They put the force. Do you ever see the
Yeah, I've
the
seen
big,
it. Yeah,
the big machines?
that's why I was
That-
asking.
yeah,
You can clean it.
Ash
because-
comes out, and you ever see it? Comes out in them wee lines, like shoots out of it. You nearly think it was DPF breaking up. That's the ash shooting out of
But
it.
the problem is though, when you get to that stage of ash,
I don't know if it ever gets it right.
not that it does, but don't get the DPF has deteriorated as well.
Correct.
Sometimes it's just done. Do you know, it's just done. End of life. So when you get to that stage where you're probably given maybe two or three goes over a distance of time of cleaning it, and there's just so much ash there, like, how capable is it of doing its job then at that stage? You know, you can flush that, but it's really and as end of life, and they do only have a life cycle anyway.
Yeah. But that's really up to the technician, of course. That's why you're the technician, and you understand. Yeah, that's not up to me. I offer you chemicals to clean out the soot.
Yeah.
And but yeah, there is a bit of a myth going a little bit less than in the very beginning. But people were saying, I have an additive and it cleans out the ash as well. That's pure bollocks.
Yeah, no, I've had this argument with different sales representatives. Air product cleans ash. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. Or it does. It doesn't.
No, yeah, well,
Try
Well,
it.
ultimately, though, we have
try
to
it.
get to a stage where we're going to start moving away from diesel, move away from DPF, start moving more into gasoline particulate filters.
Yeah.
And well, that's where the industry has gone.
Yeah.
We know hybrids, petrol. Is there a solution coming down the track?
it's
Well,
already there.
Here's
It's in our catalog. GPF cleaner.
It's on the GPF versus DPF. So DPF, for anyone that doesn't know, is a diesel particulate filter. GPF is gasoline particulate filter. That's the difference. DPF, GPF. It's the same thing, but it's on a petrol. Now, because they're only new coming out, and I do believe there's some manufacturers, and initially when we heard of them, we stopped. It's petrol. The particulates are going to be minute. It's not going to be a problem. There are manufacturers already having issues with GPFs. Is there much of a difference in the composition of the DPF and the GPF?
I would have to be a little bit careful there. We have, for well over 10 years, we kind of grew into a specialty product range on diesel particulate filters. GPFs are relatively new. I think they're now in the Euro 6s, aren't they? Most of the...
petrol there since about 2016 or something.
Yeah, something. But there are a lot less problems on petrol when it comes to GPF or the catch filter, if you like. We're yet to find out, I think, as the aftermarket, how it's going to go. But I think if you compare the contamination or carbon up soot problem on a diesel and a petrol, it's safe to say that the majority of the problems is still on diesel cars and petrol a lot less. However, what we talked about it as well, intakes.
Has to happen. We have to start doing it more proactively.
It's happening. Yeah. The GDI, the GDI engine on both on the diesel and petrol is causing contamination, and you see it only more often.
Yeah, as soon as the injector is put into the cylinder, there's no opportunity to clean the back of the valve.
Yeah.
So intake system cleaning has to happen.
Yeah.
And especially on hybrids has to really happen.
Yeah.
And if we start cleaning the intake side, then the outside won't be as dirty. So not to get blocked DPFs and blocked GPFs, if we start proactively cleaning the intake and putting that to be for cleaning the fuel.
Yeah.
So the injectors can spray properly and atomize the fuel better. We won't get the byproduct of poor injection, which ultimately is what soot is.
Yeah.
So if we can start cleaning injectors better by using additives and really cleaning intakes, keeping them as they were, like Keith mentioned last podcast about the Mazda 6 and the choke up full of carbon, as you know. But they weren't born that way effectively. They didn't come off the factory that way. So over time, but we can keep them in servicing.
Yeah.
We're cleaning them proactively on a yearly basis. We don't want to get to that stage where they're so bummed up you have to really start stripping the car down, I think that's where additives come in. They're definitely a prevention. The best side of additives is preventing.
Yep.
And it ties in with as I said before, with medicine. The medicine they always say prevention is better than cure.
Look after yourself.
Yeah.
Look after your car.
It definitely
And
is.
it's underestimated. I can only agree. You say in the not too long ago past, additives were typically for old cars, old technology. Nowadays, I think it has changed. It's still for the old cars, but it's for the new ones. It becomes more and more important. And so problem solving, yes, but these problems can be prevented.
Yeah.
And that's where there is a educational gap, I think. Maybe not so much within the industry, but also, or maybe even more importantly, at the car owner, the motorist themselves. It wouldn't hurt every so many tank fills, just put an additive in.
Every 3 hours.
Yeah, just keep your fuel system in check. Yeah, it saves you expensive repairs.
It's like dentistry. You clean your teeth every day.
Yeah.
Trying to kind of keep everything clean. Clean your fuel system regularly, and it keeps everything working properly. Yeah, definitely. And even from the oil additive. So, like, especially I was talking about hybrids, and hybrids are the new wave. The average temperature of a hybrid engine is 73 degrees. So the moisture, not hot enough to evaporate off the moisture. Number one killer for oil is contamination. Second is moisture.
Yeah.
Fuel contamination, so I say, sorry, fuel contamination. Second is moisture. So putting additives in to clean the oil before you change is really vital.
Yeah.
From getting moisture out of the crankcase.
So you, if you do an oil change, you always flush it?
Yeah. Have to do them proactively, yeah. Very important, yeah. Definitely.
See, I might be biased, but I think if you do an oil change, you must always flush it.
Yeah.
Because only then you get the most out of your fresh oil that you put in. Otherwise, there's always some contamination sitting around.
The way I would see a lot of this, because I've been active on social media for probably with the workshop for a good 6 years now, and people will come on saying, "Oh no, you don't dust this, and you don't do this. Why would you do this? That's what the oil's job." The people that say these things are the people that haven't bothered to look into how products work. They don't know the details. They don't know a fraction of what you know about. They couldn't answer any of the questions that you asked them. But the people that actually spend the time to look into you're talking about the different molecules that go into additives and how they work and how they get through combustion and how they react and afterwards and they cling on. Like, when you start looking into stuff, you really have to drop the old cantilever toolbox. You really need to leave that in the corner and move with the times and realise that cars are not what they used to be. You can't keep banging the same message of, "Oh, you're grand, this is what does it, doesn't." It's not. We don't have Euro 2 cars anymore. We have Euro 6.5.
Yeah,
We're near
almost
Euro
7. Well, there's
that
virtually
comes-
nothing coming out.
I'm actually finding that I do have to keep banging that message, though. You have to keep saying it to people. And it's not that maintenance is not the same as it was. And the trick is now, although it's your first or even second service, these additives do need to be used.
And it's we've talked about the particle count, which is going to come here in Ireland as well.
Actually, I was talking to one of the guys from the RSA. They're actually going beyond particle. They're actually going about NOx testing. So testing nitrogen coming out, like, that is next level. So that means any EGR that's being mapped out, game over. Because EGRs, evidence that it's game over. It's not even just particular filter now. It's.
What did they give you any indication of when that's going to happen?
I think they're actually piloting at the moment.
Yeah, they're piloting on commercial vehicles for roadside checks, and they're just aimed at trucks.
That's going to be a big problem.
We've had the.
I'd say that'll write 70% of diesel cars off the road like that.
Now, whether the government have the cojones to do that,
It'll be the fields over in America with the
But
Volkswagens
Larr,
parked up.
the RSA know this. You don't need us to say, like, people know that there's EGRs, there's DPFs, and it's going on for years.
it really going to depend on how powerful the green agenda is.
Well, it's not only the taking out the EGR or the DPF, which I think is extremely wrong that you do it, because
You wouldn't
in time it will upset your electronics anyways. So it's going to backfire on you. But no, we've had the particle count in Holland for a couple of years now. And I don't want to scare off car owners, but it's been it's been a nightmare for some, where if the engine, the internals have been dirtied up due to poor maintenance or low maintenance or no maintenance, whatever, and then people say, "Oh, I'm due to go to the particle count and just get an additive from JLM or any other brand, and it will fix it." Well, I have news: it's not going to happen. Then it's too late. So getting back to my previous point, it's critical, or it gets more and more important to do the regular maintenance, because otherwise you're going to be in trouble at the particle count. You won't fix it, not with a bottle or a simple repair.
And here's a really important one that I was shocked when I heard this last night. We were having the chat. I asked, does have do cars with DPFs still fail the test? And you said,
If everything is working as it should, then they will pass.
but there's some cars may, if the DPF
A lot.
may fail,
Yes.
definitely, even with the DPF in it.
Oh yeah. So be ready. There's a big wave of new customers coming at the independent.
So you're saying is that even though, because we haven't seen this yet, but you have, because it's at home, be ready, because what's going to happen is when they eventually bring in DPF testing, we were always under the impression that what's going to happen is any car that's got the DPF took out of it's going to be in trouble, and there'll be a load of people fighting for scrapyard. There'll be queuing at scrapyard.
So EGR.
EGR also,
Stocking up.
but also the people that actually do have the DPFs in their cars are still risking
Oh yes.
failing the
But
test.
Sean, stop. Just roll back. Just maintain your car properly to a high standard, and let's not even have the debate of trying to fix in after treatment.
Do you know what? That's really good, right? Because one of the things that we always talk about, and we've always spoke about, our customers don't really have problems, because we've always been using additives. We've always been changing oil regularly. A lot of customers are repeat customers. They keep coming back to us.
Yeah.
They're regular. They want their engine. They want it done right, and they're willing to pay for it. So it's fair to say that we don't even have to worry about it. But it's the people that is.
But don't forget that you're going to get new clients as you build up a reputation for having no problems. You will get new clients that haven't walked in the front door the first day. They're going to be 100,000 kilometers down the road.
But that's what we get. Like, we promote DPF repair. So our own customers that we've been maintaining and looking after, generally speaking, the repairs are minimal. Any DPF issues that we do are new customers. Generally speaking, they're new people coming in.
And they only come to you when they tried
The
all
it's
the
too
other
late.
options.
And then
Yeah.
you're into...
So you're getting the real...
Like we said, the Mazda 6s.
Yeah.
We are mad enough to do a bit with them.
Yeah.
Special again.
Yeah. But when it gets to it, like, it's a mammoth task. You have to take
But it's
off
nearly
the
like
intake
if you could
manifold,
take
and it's a mammoth task to
we're
do
talking
it.
about dealers in the last one. If we need to take their service packs, which their ones are pretty poor, but we can use that model of giving people this structure. So this year you're going to do X, Y, and Z. Next year you're going to do A, B, and C.
Most customers that 99% of my customers just listen to us, in terms of what we have to do. You do get certain people that won't take the additives, and that's fine. It's your car. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can only, the doctor can only tell you what you need to do, so it's up to you to go home and do it. But no, 99% would listen to us. But it's the ones that don't, that generally speaking will have trouble.
So on that, I think we spoke enough about additives and different things. I'd like to talk to you, Gilbert, a bit about a common thing we all share as business owners, is the business element of it and the underappreciation of everything that goes in, because a lot of people, regardless whether it's an hour's labour or a product that you sell, I don't think people realise the effort that goes into acquiring the product, making sure it's the right product, labelling the product. One of the things we spoke about in our initial conversation was you've a lot of red tape.
Oh,
to sort out in Holland. And what
like there's no tomorrow.
tell us more about tell us more about the journey of the product when you have it in your warehouse. So you have the product now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got all these different products. Now they have to come to Ireland. And one of the things that struck me was, even though we're all in the EU still, you still need permits. And
Yeah, well, you don't, but some of our products, because they're fuel additives, they I'm trying to think of the proper word, but there's excise duty on them because it's considered a fuel.
Oh, right.
And I don't see a one Europe in our business. It's just
It's a myth.
It is a myth.
my God.
It's a promise of a utopia that never happened.
It's I don't know. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, of course it exists, but we find a lot of things that don't work as one as you would
One
expect.
simple thing is car insurance. We in the European Union, the model of the European Union, I tried to ring up somebody in Germany
Yeah.
and get car insurance on my car.
Yeah. No.
I can't do that.
No.
But that was the promise of the European Union, that you could ring someone in Holland or Netherlands or Italy or Germany and get the best price.
Yeah. No. It's
happened.
our challenge is
But these are facts, though. These are facts. And it's the same. Hold on a second. It's the same thing that's stopping Gilbert moving stuff around.
Aaron, I'm not disputing with
No
you.
one's disagreeing with you. We know you're right. We do.
yes, specifics to my business, if you like.
Don't start them.
No, I won't touch any politics whatsoever. I'll leave that up to you guys. I've
So, folks,
enough challenges already.
If you are interested in talking about politics, Larr and Keith are going to have their own podcast.
I've no. What are you mentioning me for? I don't know anything about that.
No. The one of the things you probably don't see as a garage owner or as a consumer is, as I said, part of the additives is classed as a fuel type, so you have to pay excise duty on it. But in every European member country, the excise percentage is different. I think in the Netherlands we're paying the most, or we're at least somewhere high up there, the most excise duty on petrol and diesel products. So enabled for me to ship it out to our distributor in Ireland or any other European country for that matter, is we need to have a special permit by the customs, and this is a European regulation. Unfortunately, the excise duty differs per country, so we have to have a special permit to be able to export it into another member state. But on the other side, on the receiving side, this company also has to have a permit to accept it and to import it and to commercially put it on the market. And so if we send it out of the Netherlands, then we can send it, depending on the permit, free of excise duty. There's a lot of paperwork involved, they've been, and also on the other side, and the European Union has been working on. There's also like a similar to a VAT registration. In Europe, there is a European VAT platform, which makes it very easy to register all the in and outgoing VAT in different countries. They were working on the same for excise duty. Unfortunately, they pulled the plug. So there's not one portal for excise duty, and it's not coming either. It's red tape with very little understanding from everybody involved. My God, it's a nightmare.
There's an incredible sacrifice, and people don't know, others that are in business, when you're an employee or an employer, it's an incredible sacrifice you make personally to be, an entrepreneur or someone in business.
I agree, but it's
another level of.
It's a choice that I made, and it's the same like you guys.
But they must be driven.
You have to be.
Yeah. It's not optional. It's not, you can't just go, oh, there's a speed bump or a hurdle.
No, I think I'd always, as a comparison, everybody looks at top athletes, like how good they are and about the achievements. And I think we earn a medal too. We should. A nice gold one.
Yeah.
I'd be very happy and honored to get one.
I think it's a great analogy, because successful business owners, as you say, are likened on a par, and obviously not in the same way physically, but the effort they have to put in to get the business
Dedicated
to be that successful business, is the same dedication that an athlete puts in. The only difference, as I said that to you last night, is yes, fair enough, I can see that the likeness of successful business people and athletes for the athlete, but then the only difference is we don't look after ourselves as well.
Yeah, that's another thing. I think top athletes, if you look at them, they all continue to train. Although they may be already world-class, winning everything, they continue to every single day. They get a massage every day. Oh, I'm not sure every day, but I could fancy,
I'd like one every day.
But yeah, mental coaching, food on a certain diet. Really to the extreme. And I don't know about you guys. I'm far from all of that. I might do it a little bit.
We don't make time for it.
No, because it's work.
Yeah, work always comes first.
And then there's family.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple of other things. And
But I think as business owners, we all need to look at how we do things, because as I said, that actually struck me last night when you said, because it stopped me in my tracks. I'm like, these athletes, let's talk about a footballer, for instance, right? A footballer's job is playing football. What percentage of his week's actually playing football? He spends just as much time training, more time, as you say, getting the muscles massaged and rubbed and whatever. Also the mental element of it. So you'll find they actually spend more time looking after themselves than do actually at their work, on their top of their game. So it's something that's been going around in my head since, that if we spend more time looking after ourselves than we actually do working, we'll be better.
Yeah, but then you have to think, like you've openly said, now that you're back here on your own, where are you going to get time to do that stuff?
Don't forget, the footballer has a team. They have nutritionists, they have sports psychologists. They don't have a team behind them.
I get the analogy, right? And footballers, if we're using that example, they play a match, maybe 2 matches a week at 3 hours.
Yeah.
How many hours do you need to sell out here this week?
Yeah.
Or do 78 there shifts.
Yeah. So it's not apples with apples.
Dedication wise, it is. Agreed. Dedication and applying yourself to an ideal. Absolutely is.
Well, I think it's probably difficult to make an exact comparison.
Yeah, but to the same to look at yourself, because I'm the same boat, Sean. I'm probably working 50 to 60 hours a week, right? In regardless to whether it's in the workshop, at home on the laptop, whatever way.
Well, you're switched on all the time.
Yeah, whatever way you're doing it. Yeah, you don't, like, you're at home on the laptop and or whatever you're doing. Right, you're doing 50 hours anyway. And then you're obviously trying to fit in a bit of family life, and you're trying to fit in a hobby, and you're trying to fit in, like, a few dogs at home. You're trying to get them out. There's loads of stuff.
Do you know what? And see, just as you're saying that, you're talking about time. Last Christmas, we shut down at least 2 weeks every Christmas. It's the only time we shut down. Phones are off. Everything, it's off. Complete shutdown. But I tend to find things to do in the meantime, and so I'm busy. When we take a week off in the summer, I take the kids to England. We drive. We go to Alton Towers. We go to all the theme parks. Busy. Why does Sean drive? Because Sean likes moving. I have to be doing something. I can't sit. Last Christmas, it was the first time as a family, we went out to Lanzarote. And on the second day, and it was one of our customers actually was laughing at me as soon as going in, do that over the Christmas tree. Yeah, we're going to Lanzarote for a week. I just, what? I'd to see you in day 2. You make sure you keep a distance from everyone. Why? I said, for their sake, And like that, come day 2, I'm out in Lanzarote in the most beautiful. It wasn't a private beach, but it might as well have been. It was a lovely little area, in knee high in water, walking up and down with my AirPods in, like a coil spring about to explode, because I had no reason. I was in one of the nicest places I've ever been. It was pissing rain at home. Every time I looked at the cameras to tell me something walked past the front of the garage. It was beautiful weather. I was there with my family. And yet I was fit to be tied. I was completely out of my comfort zone. I couldn't explain the way it was. I was pacing up and down in the water, listening to Enya. Trying to...
Yeah, but it's only human. It's going to take a few days for you to wind down, because you're here, you're still...
It took 7.
Well, there you go.
And then you went home then?
The morning we were going home, I remember waking up the morning we were home, sitting up, and I just felt this calmness. I said to Debbie, that's what it's like.
But Sean, if you actually start training yourself, so first thing I would do, I'd get you. We close down for the month of December to try, and I find after the tour down going back to the garage.
You don't want to go back?
I want a month for the whole year. I'm waiting for the month off in December. Comes to the month off in December, and the tour down back in the. But what we got to do is you got to just park like your phone, your laptop. Just park when you go away. Just park it, so you don't start getting back into that world. There's a different world out there of sunny beaches, of pina coladas, of hammocks, and just letting yourself.
Don't go into social media too often,
because
you think you're leading the wrong life here. You're missing out something.
Yeah, you just got to take yourself out of it, because when you pick up your phone, it's like at night time, people say can't sleep. Well, this thing is constantly going at you. Your brain is then computing it. You can't go to it. But as soon as you start putting this stuff down and you can just start embracing the sounds of the ocean or that kind of thing of nature, you start winding yourself down and looking after yourself. Mental health, then looking after your body then, isn't it?
Yeah, well, but it wasn't until a few years ago I thought I could do it 1 week holiday break in the summer, because I could do that. I was, but I now I have to admit I can't. It's not doing anything for me. I'm the exact same coil spring that's on Lanzarote.
It's like the
There's
stuff
work
at
to
home.
be
It's
done,
like,
there's
yeah,
work
there's
to be
like
done.
a stuff at home to be done, and regardless of whether it's work at home, whether it's work in the garage, whether it's there's stuff to be done. You know, I hear you on that. I'd be the same.
Like some of the, like when you say the way the builders used to just close for 2 weeks. Jerry, you remember in the end of July and August, they just closed. And that's what I said about Christmas. The term oil Christmas, just the place should either close or that we get rid of Christmas or lock down the way we used to in the 80s at Christmas. The whole place was shut down for
4 years ago.
No, but the way it used to be at Christmas time back in the 80s, there was no shop opened at Christmas time. It was maybe a convenience store might have opened, but it was actually a proper rest time for everybody. And I think
But it's important that you look after yourself.
yeah.
And
But you'd be the same now. You don't, when you're taking a week off, you're not switching off, head wound up to bits.
it takes a few days to a week.
Yeah, it's mad, and that's obviously it's a different element. We're obviously repairing cars. You're in a different element of the motor trade, I suppose. But
Yeah, but it works
it's
in your
the
head.
same.
It works the
It's
same.
the same, yeah.
There's no difference. No, it's my partner says if we're planning a summer holiday, not a week, at least 2, ideally longer, because I don't want to have you in the first week because you're still not on
So what's
holiday
the common?
mode.
What's common between the four of us? It's drive, and if you have that drive, you're constantly thinking. You're constantly thinking. Next mountain to conquer.
How can we do
How
better?
can we do better?
Yeah.
Next mountain to conquer. There's always another mountain. Someone says to me, "Are you going to stop?" No, because there's another mountain.
We're able to go to stop-start buttons. They don't work.
Yeah, but I think you have to find that stop-start button in some shape or form within yourself. If you want to keep this.
That's normally about 11:30 on the couch.
No, I'm serious. I must say, because it did caught up to me as well, and I think I'm no exception. It's going to happen to everybody at some point. Hopefully not, but if you do find that start-stop button in, I don't know. I like to do sports. For me, that's my happy place or whatever. That I forget thinking of business stuff, work, and I really need that. And if I don't do it, or if I skip it a few times because I feel wary and it's bad weather, and it's very easy not to do it. Yeah. And there's a little devil on this side that's saying, Gilbert, come on, you stay inside and have a bag of chips and just pop a beer and that's the. But if I listen to that little devil, it's going to catch up with me quite rapidly. Actually, I must admit. So that tells me that I really need to find time to what's the word, to let go, to whatever. For me, that's sports. I like that. I like to do things with my family, with my kids. But being able to spend some time on my own, that's my little. And I think everybody has their own.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And do you find spending time on your own? Because I'm I always enjoy company. I always enjoy if I'm going somewhere. So we went down to Cork last week. So come on, Keith, you come with me. In one sense, where I find probably good likeness when I used to be driving trucks. I used to drive the HGV trucks. I hate the only one thing I hated about driving trucks, well, apart from the Vosa pulling you every 5 minutes, was the loneliness that came with it.
Phone bill was flat out.
There was Nokia 5110s on the phone, but it was no good. It was CBs. But there's a loneliness element to it. But in hindsight, there was also that clarity. When I drove trucks I drove them for near 2 years solid. And up to that point, I was working business and things like that. And I found, so it was just annoying me, it was getting me. But I found in that 1.5 to 2 years that I was driving trucks that I had more ideas and more plans came to me.
Yeah.
When I was on my own in that cab. And then it left me after 1.5 years of driving trucks, I was able to come out and do all this.
What do you think your best ideas come in the toilet?
How much time do? No, I don't think.
You're on your own. There's no one else around you.
That's your HGV.
No, but it's. I hear what you're saying. We have an office in Germany, so the drive takes me, if I'm lucky, 3.5 hours. If I'm unlucky, it takes me 7 hours, depending on.
Jam traffic can be
Uh,
bad if there's an accident.
yeah, well, don't start. But no, for driving on my own, the best ideas come to mind, and so I hear you.
So it's that tiny, yeah, but it's probably fair to say that the alone time is good.
I don't know. For me, that works.
Hmm.
I think for everybody, it could be different. I don't know. You tell me.
I would have said when I was younger, needy would have probably been a little bit more of a word, but being around people all the time would have been my preference. Whereas I don't know what's happening. The more I get older now, I actually love spending time on my own. Just out the shed,
The tolerant levels.
talk to the cars, talking to the cars, and just
Did you talk back?
no.
That's when you're going to get worried.
Are there any podcasts there? Any recordings?
But alone time it's great for clearing the head, and you get a lot of ideas as well. You think of stuff, and and to be fair,
Sometimes it's dangerous.
it is, yeah, it can be. It's expensive.
Yeah, these ideas, they can be very expensive.
Any examples?
Yeah, myself and Larr went down a Thursday night. I went down to Dublin, and myself and Larr met up because we're talking about changing the format of this podcast and what we want to do in the future and where we see. And what I'm trying to do with the podcast as I don't know what you want to call me, the founder of it, is I want to get the best out of all of us. And where Larr really shines, and you've just seen an example earlier on this podcast with regard to knowledge and what the man knows, where this man shines is at his work. So I said, right, I want to get that across to people and things like that. So we sat down, we had a chat, just went through stuff and things like that, and going through ideas, and you're happy enough with it.
I think it's very good what Sean is doing. He's trying to push the industry forward, and he wants to do it collectively, which I think is the best chance we all have is we come together.
Well, I think I agree. I think there's, from an industry perspective, the independent aftermarket, there's a lot to be, how do you say, gained this weekend. And I've been a fan of Sean, his Facebook lives or video reports for quite some time.
It's amazing to see that you're doing a video here. I'm just standing in a garage in Dundalk, on my own. Call me Fred in the shed if you want, I'll take it. And we have the CEO of JLM Lubricants watching it.
Well, that's how I got to know you, or know of you, and then
Keith sent me a video back one day.
yeah,
Keith has a little side number.
it's not. You mentioned this a few times now. At this point,
It's Dutch. He likes Dutch.
yeah,
beer.
no,
So
we give it a
he
mention.
He likes Heineken,
Yeah,
but he
listen,
also
so-
makes
no,
he makes
right,
he
so-
makes Christmas trees.
No, look,
out of
I'm
Heineken bottles.
actually going to explain
Used
this, right?
Heineken bottles.
What happened was, right, Larry's mentioned this a few times, so we need to clear it up, right? What happened was, right, one of my colleagues sent me a picture of a Christmas tree made out of Heineken bottles.
Yeah.
So, I got it in my head.
Keith, he wanted a bigger one. He wanted one to rival the one in New York.
Yeah, so we
So we
said,
start.
and anyone that knows me knows I like Heineken. Right?
Jeez, Rockefeller.
He's Rockefeller, yeah, the Rockefeller Centre.
Anyway, I decided that I'm going to make a Christmas tree out of empty Heineken bottles. And it turned out fabulous now, in fairness.
No, sorry, Keith, you have to tell the problem. The problem was you had to empty the bottles.
I know, yeah, they were empty. I know they weren't full bottles. I know they were empties. Oh yeah.
And just a little caveat, he didn't pour them on the grass.
No. It was a challenge. And why would you do that? That's alien. That's fucking blasphemy. That is.
And he didn't share them with anybody either.
So anyway, we decided that. Well, I decided I'm going to make a Christmas tree. So obviously, you're drinking these bottles while you're making the Christmas tree. So at about 2:00 in the morning, I thought it'd be a great idea to impersonate Sean. Right.
Oh no. I can feel it
In a
coming.
video with the Christmas tree, and I sent it to him.
At 2:00 in the
At
morning.
2:00 in the morning. Now,
But what happens about half an hour before he made the video, he nearly cut his finger off because his eyes were turning that way instead of going straight.
Oh my God.
No, it wasn't that bad. It looked worse though.
Keith, it was like a big balloon. Duct tape and everything.
But anyway, we need to clear it up. Sean, the next morning anyway, I looked and goes, oh jeez, I'm going to send that video to Sean. I don't hardly even know that man. Thankfully, Sean's seen the funny side of it, and the rest is history.
So any pictures?
Videos. Video, yeah.
No, no.
Publicly available or restricted?
Oh no, they won't be publicly available, but to be show you. But yeah, great crack though.
Making
Well,
money.
in fact, to point out, we were talking about the sometimes ideas can be dangerous and expensive. When we sat for an hour just chatting, and then I was explaining that one of the things I want to do with the podcast is go around and visit different garages, not just to have us sitting around the same table the whole time chatting about the same things. There's only so many times you can talk about the same thing. But to get on the road and go around and visit different garages, chat to business owners as we're talking now, get their view on the thing and make it interesting that people will see what's he doing. So clicking through the local ads on the phone, and we decided what would be a great idea for going around, and we found this trailer, HGV trailer, that opens up.
Okay. So a roadshow as a
roadshow.
there you go. Yeah.
And then turn around and Larr says, whatever you do, don't throw that to Keith. So that was the first thing it did. Keith, what do you think of this? Oh, Jesus, I don't know, Sean. He said, you'll have to go and buy a lorry tow that.
He only eyed it up so we could buy a Scania or something.
Yeah, big V8 scan.
Yeah. See me drive around the video.
Actually, here's where I went. So I sent them back a couple of examples of box body vans that would actually be nice and compact and easy to park, for want of a better. He texts me back, Keith, you're not getting me vision. No, I am, Sean, but where are we going to put that show?
That's 40-foot lot.
Yeah, and if we have to drive to Kilkenny or something, it's going to take about fucking €300 worth of diesel.
And you ain't torn that in the middle of Killarney.
So that's one ideas can get.
Sounds good. Got me in.
Yeah.
No, but it is great. From what Sean's vision is great, that collectively it brings the industry together, and it's ultimately it's to share knowledge, because me personally speaking, God didn't touch me, and knowledge is accumulated from talking to people like yourself, talking to Keith, talking to Sean, talking to other people. That's how we accumulate, and
Lifelong learning.
Lifelong. Yeah. And that's one of my mottos. And that's where Sean wants to start sharing this knowledge, not trying to keep it all to one person.
No, I think it's important everyone brings, and for me, people will say to me, why do you go to so much effort sharing what you do, showing people what you do? And it's a twofold thing. It's one, it's to explain to customers what actually happened in the details. As I always say, if you go into Curry's and you spend €1,000 on a television, and you go home and boom, hang that TV on the wall. Every time you go home in the evening, busy day at work, boom, click on the television. It's grand. You come into your local garage, you spend €1,000 on maintenance on your car, and £100 of that is your product. And you go out the door, you drive your car, and you're like, especially if they're doing preventive maintenance, they're not going to notice the difference. Now, long term, they'll notice the difference because they're not going to get hit with a big bill. But short term, they've just spent, say, for talk's sake, £1,000, and they're not. No, they're what do you do for that?
Yeah.
Whereas the videos were sort of a way of bringing them in behind closed doors and say, look, this is the cost of business. This is why this is why. We had a lady come in here the other day, and she says, she visited 2 other garages on the road. She came here. She came on to us to get something else done. She says, would you believe I was in 2 other garages on this road this week? Just wanted a bulb change. And sorry, they did not want to change the bulb at all. I said, yeah, I explained it to her. I said, look, it's costing them 15 or 20 quid to change that bulb on time. And if they asked you for 15 or 20 quid to change that bulb, you'll have a conniption. You'll spit the dummy out. And she goes, yeah, I would. I said, so it's easier. It happened to me yesterday. It was coming up to lunchtime, a lady came in and asked for a bulb changed, and I looked at the car, and it was a Renault, and I knew the whole bumper had to come off, and that's going to be an hour. So is she going to give me €100 to fit a €5 bulb? No. She's going to, I said, I just politely said, look, we're very busy. And I sent her up the other 2 garages up the road. I said, but for us here, it's trying to change customer perception.
Yes.
And then also as well, hopefully other mechanics around the country. It's a great way. I always find by having chats with Larr, Keith, you could be having a bad day, a bad week. But by going to chatting to someone that's doing the same thing you're doing, not necessarily down the road, but go a wee bit further, go out of your town, chat to someone else, you'll find we're all facing the same problems. And I think what's amazing, even chatting to you, who's based in Netherlands, which you're in, it's not exactly a trip down the road, it's a bit of water every wind. And you're working in a different element of the trade. You still face a lot of the same stresses.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And yeah, I fully understand. And that's exactly why I'm here. And I appreciate what you're doing. I think looking at your videos for the car owners enhances their knowledge and their understanding of what's actually going on, what's going on behind the scenes. It's not that simple. There's a whole machine or operation behind it. So by all means, continue. Big fan of it, and it's like you said, we had a big. Why I'm here is actually because I responded to one of your videos from your workshop about price increases, and you said, "Oh, Gilbert, maybe you can appear on the podcast one day," and that was not a polite saying, but you did not expect an answer back. But I agreed politely. Thank you. I'll think about it. But yeah, I think we stopped the conversation on the Messenger or whatever. And then later that night I was thinking, why think about it? Come on, this is great. So yeah, I said let's do it. If I can contribute, I will.
Yes, and we really appreciate it because you've gone to a lot of effort to come here.
Well, I'm more than happy to do it. And I learned, it was the first time we actually met.
Yeah.
And meeting these 2 guys as well. So I'm in a happy place.
That's good. And I think at this stage, look, we've gone on enough now, and we've said all we need to say. I'd like to take this opportunity. Gilbert was kind enough to bring us some gifts over from JLM, and a few people's probably wondering why there's some extra cups on the table. So myself and Keith are having some additives of our own to give us a bit of energy, a bit of Red Bull in there. But we also, if I go to my other drawer, we have an Irish DPF cleaner. So this is good for you.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Very nice. Oh, that's beautiful.
So
thank you, Keith. Thank you, Larr.
Awesome, man. Thank you, Gilbert.
Been a
Great
pleasure.
pleasure.
So whenever your DPF's blocked at Christmas,
This one's for me.
that's. Well,
Thank you so much.
thank you. So again, thanks everyone for taking the time to watch this. We really appreciate it. If you could, obviously like and subscribe the usual. It does help because the more people that watch videos like this, the more people subscribe, and the more high quality content and brilliant people like Gilbert will come to chat to us, and we can get to use. So thanks again. Thanks for watching.